It's John and Mike, brew-dudes.com. We have two beers here. One we've already tasted before, but there's a new one, and it's kind of along the same theme that we've been doing. At least I've been brewing these homegrown hop beers.
Oh.
And so this was actually beer 4 of a plan of 3. I do have a lager that's still lagering. It's not ready yet. It's still kind of cloudy. I took a look at it today, and I said, no, we're not going to bring that out just yet. But since my brother does grow his own hops as well, I did another variation of American Pale Ale. And this one has mostly Cascade hops. So I can talk a little bit about this. We know this is the Chinook. This beer, one right here, is the Chinook American Pale Ale. This one has homegrown Cascade hops from here in the great Northeast. And a couple of things, we'll talk about the brew process. We'll also talk about the carbonation process, because if you're watching this, it's right before American Thanksgiving, and I had to rush this because of our strict production schedule and because the holidays coming up, and my brother wanted to have some beer on Thanksgiving from the hops that he grew. Well, I made this beer. So let's talk about grain bill versus grain bill. This one has American 2-row raw malt. This also has that. This has Munich, a Munich 10. This has it's Crystal 60. So to talk about this one in particular, 92% of the grain bill is American 2-row pale malt, and then 8% is Crystal 60. For a 5-gallon batch, I did 11 pounds of 2-row, 1 pound of...
Pound?
Yeah, went for it. Boom. And then the hop schedule was like such... This one, we did a lot of hop additions in the beginning of the boil. This we did a little more later. I did do a first wort hopping of 2 ounces of Cascade. And then I did add some Chinook to this because he only had...
Oh, this guy?
Yeah, he had some Cascade, but not enough for my liking. So we did, at 20 minutes, I did 3 ounces of Chinook. And then at Flame Out, we did the rest of his Cascade, and it was like 3.5 ounces right at Flame Out. So no dry hopping.
No dry hopping.
And so I just wanted to see if you could detect, clearly from the color, you can tell there's a bit of a difference, but I wanted to see if there was a bit of difference in the hop character as well. So Mike, you've been tasting this. Tell me what you think, and I'm going to compare and contrast as well.
Well, this one, as you started talking and I drank this, I sniffed this one. It still had a pretty good sort of juicy fruit, nice citrusy
Not
thing
juicy
aroma.
Fruit, the gum.
The gum, man.
The gum, really?
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
That was the first thing that struck my mind. I still had some of that. It's faded a little bit now. It's been breathing. This one has got some of that aroma. There's a little bit more of a grassy aroma. But I'm still getting some of the juicy fruit, that quality. And but I will say that this beer is now decidedly more bitter than I remember it to be. Like some of the flavor and aromatic quality is aged maybe a little bit. It hasn't been that long, but it's aged a bit. And the bitterness is like really coming through. It's pretty strong, like really strong.
Yep.
This one is not anywhere near as bitter. It's definitely more balanced.
It's interesting to taste them side by side. That's true.
I like that you put some of the Chinook in here late, because I think it is helping out the balance. I don't know, the Cascade here, it's not like a grapefruity. There's a juiciness. There's like a fruitiness to it that's pleasant. There's a little bit of like an herbal quality to it on the finish now. Yeah,
which we have talked about in these homegrown hops. The one thing I will say that this has more than this is that grapefruity pith.
A pith,
A little bit of pith, not like the actual fruit of the grapefruit, but like there's a pithiness, and I detected that on the nose. That's very different. Well, different enough from this one.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely different. Yeah, it's definitely different. It's interesting though. The grain bill doesn't seem to be throwing me off much. The difference between. I don't really, even though this is a pound of Crystal 60. it's still pretty mild, really.
Yeah, there's not a lot of that caramel quality.
Well, it's hard to say. Maybe the same hop bill in without this Crystal 60, but maybe it's supporting a little bit of that sweet, juicy thing.
Potential.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But it's good. This one, I don't know. This one now, the bitterness on this one is hard to.
Is it because, like, if you had this standalone, would you? If
I had this standalone, I would drink it. I'd be happy about it, but I would be noting towards the end of it how bitter it is.
Yeah. Just because it kind of settled out, I think.
Yeah, and but this one's a little more easier drinking.
Yeah.
At this point in time, although I remember when we had this, it was just awesome.
Yeah,
phenomenal.
The freshness.
But it's interesting how it's
now it's probably a month or so. Who knows? Yep. What do you think about the? So I didn't get to the carbonation, but this one in the keg on Sunday.
Yep.
And then here we are. This is Tuesday night. We're filming this, and then so turn that thing up to 30 psi, and I just shook it.
For it.
Yep. Yeah. Like morning and night.
I've done that a couple times for the production schedule.
Yes. The production schedule. Yeah. So when I got home tonight, I went down. I shook it and didn't sound like any gas was getting in there. So I was like, cool. I took off the gas. I burped it. I put the gas back on and then dialed in to just 5 psi so I could bring it over here in a growler, and that's what I had. So I liked that the head was rocky and such, and this should be good for Thursday for Thanksgiving. Yeah,
I think I'd get it on like 12 pounds, 15 pounds, whatever your dispensing pressure is, and let it equalize itself, because it's not like terribly carbonated. It's not overly undercarbed.
Yes.
But it's carbed enough for doing a nice video.
There you go.
That's for sure.
That's how we do it. Yeah, probably about 1.5 volumes.
I mean, I tend to carb my beers. Oh, I've sort of stopped doing this, but for a long time I sort of carb my beers on that lower English side of things anyway, just because I find it easier to drink.
That's true.
You know,
and you're not burping at the dinner table.
Exactly, and you're not worrying about big foamy pours all the time either, right?
That,
So if your system is a little bit unbalanced.
Cool.
But it's good. It's a good pour, and it's a good beer.
So good for Thanksgiving?
Always good to go for Thanksgiving.
All right, so maybe we'll, I only have a little bit of this left actually. It's probably like 2 gallons left of this. So we'll see. I'm going to use these. I'll have these both as options on Thursday, and we'll see how it goes. I think my brother will probably drink a good amount of that, so we'll have that going for the big celebration on Thursday. All right. Well, hopefully you learned something. Certainly from a forced carbonation type perspective. If you need to rush it, just turn it up real high and shake it until you make it.
That's the beauty of being a kegger.
True that. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. We do this every week. And if you want to be notified and, all that crap, you can click on the bell. You can, like, punch the bell, what do they say? Whatever. Smash the bell. I have no idea. Do that if you want to. I don't know. For John and Mike, brew-shoes.com, brew on.
Cheers.